Hi there, freelance friends. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. We have another episode of Let's Talk Tech today. Today, we're going to be talking about unlocking the power of Copilot Chat with regards to analyzing an Excel document. And in this video, I'll bring you through a step-by-step example. Now, we all know that Excel is a powerhouse for data management, widely used globally. But it's my opinion that when you pair Excel with the power of Microsoft's Copilot Chat, it becomes an intelligent assistant that can analyze, summarize, and visualize your data very quickly. So instead of manually writing formulas or building charts, you can simply ask Copilot questions in natural language and get instant insights into your data. Now, remember that Copilot Chat is available to you if you do have a Microsoft license. You can use the premium version of Copilot within Excel to do some different analysis or analysis in different ways. But today we're just going to be covering the analysis using Copilot Chat. Specifically, we'll explore what Copilot Chat can do for Excel analysis and walk you through a real example using a digital marketing data set. So, what can Copilot Chat do exactly in Excel? Well, it can do a lot. It can summarize data because it quickly understands your data set without you having to scroll through hundreds of rows of data. It can filter and search for you. It can find specific records based on the conditions that you put in using your natural language. It can perform calculations. You can compute totals, averages, rankings, all things that previously required some requisite knowledge of Excel can now be done without much of that knowledge using Copilot. You can analyze trends, spotting patterns and correlations very easily. You can create visualizations through generating charts and graphs instantly. And this allows you to answer business questions by turning your data into actionable insights. Sounds great, doesn't it? So let's get started with the demo. Now, I am going to be using a spreadsheet that contains fictitious marketing campaign data for this example. These are not campaigns that I have run. I actually don't run marketing campaigns for my business. I know that some freelance companies do, and maybe I will eventually. But even if I do, I don't believe that they would be the size and scope of the ones listed in this spreadsheet. However, it is good data, and it will allow you to observe how you can apply what you see here to your own data set. So I here am just showing you a copy of the data sheet just to get you grounded here. You can see that it is, as I mentioned, data that has to do with a marketing campaign. You can see that I have several columns of data, and the data set is actually 300 rows. So while it isn't the largest set you will ever see, it is large enough to give you an idea of the analysis capabilities that Copilot has. So I am going to bounce over to Copilot Chat so that we can get started. Here, the first thing that I'm going to do is upload this data set into Copilot Chat. So this is the same data set that you have. I have it right now living in my cloud files. So I'm quickly going to come and grab it from my files. It's this digital marketing metrics sheet. Now, I could start off by asking Copilot to provide me with some specific insight into this spreadsheet, but instead, I'm going to simply start by uploading it and see what insight and suggestions Copilot Chat has for me. So you can see here that very quickly, Copilot provides me with an overview of the document itself. As you see, it is accurate. It's saying that the file provides detailed campaign level metrics for various digital marketing efforts across platforms such as Twitter, Facebook ads, Google ads, and LinkedIn. And as you know from looking at the actual spreadsheet, this is accurate along with the column titles that it's giving here. It's also giving me some key insights right off the bat without me even having to ask anything specific. So isn't this great? You can see it's giving me information on various platform performances, the top performing campaigns, the cost efficiency of the campaigns, the return on ad spend, and some example tables of metrics. Now, I am very good at Excel. I've been teaching Excel for years, but I don't think that I could have conducted this level of analysis to get this data in the amount of time that Copilot did. So that really shows the effectiveness of Copilot when analyzing data such as this. Now, as you see, Copilot Chat is giving me some suggestions for next steps, asking me if I'd like to visualize the campaign performance by platform, if I'd like to identify the most cost-effective campaigns, or if I'd want recommendations for optimizing future campaigns. What good suggestions Copilot is providing for me. I think I'm going to take it up on its offer to visualize the campaign performance. Who doesn't like a good visualization? So I'm copying that prompt and then selecting generate and waiting for Copilot Chat to do its magic. While it did take a little while for Copilot Chat to generate these visualizations, I hope that you can understand why now that you take a look at them. You can see that it's provided the total impressions by platform, the total clicks by platform, the average click-through rate in a percentage by platform, and the average conversion rate by platform, along with the total ad spend by platform. It also gives me some key observations and continues to offer suggestions for what I might like to do next. But before we move on to what's next, I just want to go back to all of these visualizations to show you that you do have the option of copying the graph if you'd like to paste it into a document or presentation. You also have the option to view the code if you're fancy like that. And finally, you have the option to download the image if you'd like to insert it later on. Now, because of this, I'm going to say that I do have a specific question. I would like Copilot Chat to help me extract information on all the campaigns that I ran on Facebook ads. I realized that I could sort through all of the data myself and filter it, but I want to see if Copilot can do it for me a little bit more quickly. And you can see that quick it was. So it gave me the name of each Facebook ad, the number of impressions, the clicks, the click-through rate, the conversion rate, and the CPC, along with the ROAs, the ad spend, the start date, and the end date. So basically, it has provided me with each row of data that pertains to a Facebook ad. And it did it so quickly and efficiently. Now, as you can see, if I would like, I can extract this data and I can create a downloadable file of this filtered information. All I have to do is ask Copilot Chat to do it. How helpful is that? Now, I do have some additional questions for Copilot before we end this demo, just to give you an idea of the types of things that you can ask. Now, similar to the last one, if you do not want to sort and filter for a certain question that you have, just ask Copilot Chat. For instance, ask it which campaigns had a conversion rate over 40%. And as you can see, it quickly produces all of the ads that had a conversion rate of over 40%. Now, what if I ask Copilot Chat a question like, which campaigns had both high impressions and a high conversion rate? Luckily, Copilot Chat is helping me to define what a high impression rate and conversion rate is based on the data in this table. Now you can see that this is the criteria that it used. Of course, if I had different criteria that I wanted Copilot Chat to use, all I would have had to do is ask. And then underneath, you can see all of the campaigns that did meet that criteria. Now, as you can see, it did include the 3 campaigns that did have impressions over 400,000. However, it did also include 2 other campaigns that had a lower impression rate. I'm going to have to dive into the data to be sure, but I'm going to assume that's because my fictitious data did not contain too many campaigns that met this criteria. But just to be sure, I am going to ask Copilot to explain its thinking. So I am going to ask it to explain why it included campaigns with less than 400,000 impressions in the list. This is a technique that I've found very helpful when using Copilot, asking it to explain its thinking. And as you can see, Copilot explained its reasoning. It did say that it did use 2 criteria, but it really included all the campaigns with a conversion rate over 40%, even if their impressions were below 400,000. And then it specifically calls out the campaigns that I questioned. This is really helpful to me and would help me to explain this to other people. You can see here it explained why this happened. and also explains how to further refine the list if necessary. Hopefully, this has shown you that Copilot Chat can be a great partner for your Excel documents, and that you can do powerful analysis using just your spreadsheet and Copilot Chat. After all, Copilot isn't just a helper, it's your data analyst on demand. If you enjoyed this video and learned something while watching it, I would appreciate it if you like and subscribe so that way you'll be notified the next time a video is released. Until then, take care. Bye.